Please join me in giving a warm welcome, Valerie Simpson!
Hello! Wow! You weren't expecting me, were you? I know where a good time can be had. And when I saw who was going to be here, I wanted to be here too. These two gentlemen who bring all of this together, they are the reason why all of these singers and entertainers want to get up here and tell their story. And you know, I really don't like interviews. Be honest with you, I don't. I really don't. So you gotta pull something out of me to make me talk. And that's what they do. You know, I know they love what it is we do as entertainers. I see the passion in them. And so it turns me on all over again, because I've been doing this a few years, y'all. And I still get a kick out of, if you make me feel something, then I'm with you. So tonight you're gonna feel things, because these two gentlemen are gonna get the most out of some very talented people. And I just wanna say I thank them for always remembering the music to keep it alive and important in our lives. So come on up here, Christian, John Wikane, and Sekou.
It really, for both Sekou and I, it's so significant to have you together in the same space, because we adore and admire you so much. So thank you just for taking time out of COVID season to be here. Yes. Wow. Welcome, everyone. It is so wonderful to be at the Lafayette City Winery. Sekou, how are you feeling tonight?
I was just introduced by Valerie Simpson. I'm calling my mom. I'm like, wow.
We want to thank everyone that actually attended the first Unscripted Live at the Apollo Theater Soundstage back in May and have returned for City Winery. We want you to relax, feel comfortable, enjoy yourselves, and I think we should just get right to it, Sekou.
Let's jump right in.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to the legendary André de Shields.
When I had an opportunity to create The Wiz, I knew that I could, first of all, change the attraction or lack thereof of Broadway for Black audiences. Because in 1975, we were sitting at home on the couches, you know, watching sitcoms. And there's nothing wrong with that. But The Wiz had chilly reception from the critics. They were asking, why do we need a colored version of Judy Garland's Genius? It was not an hospitable terrain for Black people, audiences, or performers. So here was my opportunity to be not only an actor, but an activist. The Black people came out, made those chilly critical notices absolutely impotent, because the strongest promotion you can have in this industry is word of mouth. When the people say, you got to see, you have to hear Stephanie Mills sing Home. 15 years old, from a church in Brooklyn. And the point that was made is we are not trying to diminish the brilliance of Judy Garland. What we are trying to do is make the message, "There's no place like home," universal. And the only way you can do that is to put it in the mouth of a young lady of color. Because then everyone else says, "Oh, you're talking to me. You are empowering me." That's the lesson I learned. That's the lesson I continue to live by. And that's the revolution that I'm still fomenting in these United Plantations of America. Now, may I continue? Because the lesson is the same in 2022, now that I'm playing Ben Lomond in Death of a Salesman. In 1949, when Arthur Miller wrote this brilliant piece of American dramatic literature, it was the exclusive domain of white actors and white audiences. Now, it's got people shaking in their boots because the perspective, just as in The Wiz, is in the mouth of those that have been traditionally marginalized to the edges of society. And if you want to know the truth about the society, the culture in which you live, ask someone who cannot afford the price of the American dream. They will tell you the truth. You know, success is not objective. It's totally subjective. And I can't say it any more clearly than my Tony acceptance speech. I live my life by 3 cardinal rules. Surround yourself with people whose eyes light up when they see you coming. Not when they see you in the room, because that's too late. When they see you on the horizon, and you can affect them so that they get happy, they smile. You know, people say, "André, you must have a closet a mile long." I said, "No, I don't have a closet a mile long. But I wear my clothes in such a way that you think I'm wearing a different suit each time you see me, because I want you to smile when you see me. I want your eyes to light up. I want you, for a second, feel good. If I can bring that into your life for 5 minutes, I'm successful." Cardinal rule number 2, slowly is the fastest way to get to where you want to be. People mistake that and say, slowly is the fastest way to get to where you want to go. No. No, be. Try that for a moment. Try that for a day, being and not going. You know, you can go out on the streets of New York, right? And you ask someone, "Where are you going?" "I don't know, but I got to get there in a hurry." If I could just share, teach, illustrate the joy there is in achieving a state of being, which is a huge lesson from the pandemic. The pandemic freaked out so many people because we have yet to learn how to be with ourselves. But that's the greatest education in the world, to be able to be with yourself, alone, in a dark space, and feel worthy. worthwhile, sufficient, enough. But no, we got crazy and everyone's talking about, oh, I'm having an existential crisis. No. You have not had. Peggy Lee took care of that when she sang, if that's all there is, then let's keep on dancing, right? And then the cardinal rule number 3, the top of one mountain is the bottom of the next. So keep climbing. You can take a moment when you get to that pinnacle, look around, take in the panorama. Oh, isn't this beautiful? But then cast your eyes up. There's another height you need to achieve. And here's the beauty of it. Not every mountain goes up. Some mountains go down. You think I'm crazy, but check this out. What's the highest peak on the planet? Everest. How tall is it? 33,000 feet. 33,000 feet. What's the deepest depth on the planet? The Mariana Trench. How deep is it? 33,000 feet. That's what I'm talking about. That's a mountain, and that's a mountain. Ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no valley low. Valerie Simpson. Ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. And you know who you is? Yourself. Yourself. To keep you from getting to yourself. I was looking forward to this opportunity, though, because I don't have time for jive any longer. You know, I want to say things that are true and real, life-changing, and possibly enlightening for other folks, right? Because there's too much fakery and too much bullshit in this world.
We're all a part of this. That's the thing that's amazing. You've spoken to all of us. You've dissected my life.
Thank you both so much for just coming together. I mean, this is pretty extraordinary. Sekou and I both are just so thankful for the honesty and the intimacy that you brought to the interviews that we did for season 2. How Can I Ease the Pain to This Day is a tour de force. And I know this song means so much to a lot of people in this room. What do you experience from that moment of stepping into the song and then navigating all of the emotional peaks in the melody with your voice?
It's complicated. Because there's the performance at 31. There's the maturity that happens between 31 and 63. Because the song is actually 32 years old. And so there's this threading that is going on in my mind. It's like, okay, I do want to keep it in the same key because I'm like key sensitive. It kind of makes me a little nutty. It's like I'm the chick that would listen to the AM and FM stations when I was a kid and would hear the same song and could tell if it was the AM or FM radio station because AM played it a hair faster. FM played it a little slower. And so I would be, something's not right, you know? So I was like, for all those people that like have that thing, it's like, at least start the song in the original key. Then there's just bringing everything that I am not, or that I was not back then, bringing all that to this experience. Like,
I get excited when I see older artists maneuvering their lives. I get excited about that because I was like, wow, I didn't realize that there was more pudding in the plate, that there was more stuff in the middle. You're just like, gee, the icing looks really nice, but there's some nuts and things and some sticky bits in the middle, And so I try to bring all that to, not that I try to bring it, I just try to be me in this moment, to be honest. Just to be myself in this moment, and the things that I cannot do, accept that. And the things that I can bring, give it.
I'm trying to imagine the experience of standing on a stage and you just have thousands of people out in front of you. And sometimes it's night after night, with not a lot of rest in between. But being on stage, I wonder, when have you felt the most vulnerable?
Every time. Right now. For me, it is part of what is necessary to exude truth and allow for spirit to do what it needs to do. So I need to be vulnerable. I have to be just a clean slate for whatever spirit needs to draw on me, so that I can sing what it tells me to sing, just allowing spirit to move. And you can only really do that when you're vulnerable and purely communicating and being that conduit.
When I'm afraid, when I'm doing something that is so new, I kind of feel like, this is why I love Luther so much. Because Luther would rehearse us until we were almost sick of it. Do you know that point where like, I know it already. And we'd be like, because you needed to be able to do it in your sleep. You needed to know exactly what hand, what pose, what look, what word, what note, what color of the note, And if I change it that night, you need to make space for that too. So there's something about the settledness of knowingness that sort of gives you the freedom to play and connect with the audience the way they would like you to, and the way that you want to. But when I'm afraid, that space gets very crowded. And so I'm not as sensitive to the cues. I'm worried about, what was the second verse was what? Oh, crap, I just forgot what the second verse was. Oh, my God. Oh. Now, while all that was happening, I'm missing out. I'm missing out on people and feelings and, what I'm getting ready to do because I know what's coming. But when I'm in that new space, it makes me a little vulnerable. Yeah.
And so I wonder, in listening to Lisa just now talk about working with Luther and the discipline of singing with Luther, were those things that you intuited listening to Luther coming of age? What did you hear in specifically the vocals?
Precision. Intention. Tenderness, beauty, the harmonics, they were stories in their own right. The backgrounds are its own lead. It's it was magic, and so his tone, the air, the ease in which he sang, yet there was horsepower behind it, you know. But it was just so pretty. And being from the Bronx also, you know, and in 1980 and 81, you know, being a little kid and being able to listen to music in general, but to put his on it was something different because he wasn't screaming at you. You know, he wasn't trying to show you how manly he was. He was soft. He was soft. And it's rare. It was rare at the time to, you know, unless you were listening to Ronnie Dyson. You know what I mean? Like, but to hear Luther was, and being a little boy who always had a lot of female friends, like I picked up on his love for females and their beauty and how he would give them the parts to accentuate that.
When I went to South Africa the first time with the Rolling Stones, Africans were still maneuvering and trying to feel what life is like without having to get a pass to get into the city. So fast forward, I'm at the gig, and I'm thinking, you know, as we were flying into South Africa, I was like, oh, I'm going to the motherland, it's gonna be so beautiful. And parts of it were. The other parts of it, and this is where this unspoken thing is, I'm on stage with the Stones as a black woman, singing to mainly Afrikaners who can afford the ticket, where they're looking at me, supporting Mick and how Mick is treating me with open arms. And I am singing the songs, the backgrounds, and pretty much all of the music that they've written comes from this cradle of black music, you know. And they'll be the first to tell you. And my gift is to be able to look into the eyes of these people that would probably hate my guts if I wasn't on stage singing, you know, and to just give them love. Because we're meeting, it's that unspoken musical stuff that gets into the soul of people and gets down to the truth of people and gets down to the common denominator of people. And that's always what I want to leave everywhere.
Going back to being younger without having aspirations of it or for it, just ending up doing it, I was successful at 10. And I knew that being on television, the people that was mad at me for jumping double dutch with the girls were not. So I have made it somewhere, you know, and I have succeeded to some extent. Today, though, through Hollywood television, record industry, I am a success because I'm sitting here. You know? And to be very honest, catching your interview with Sir, who was up here, and him sharing his story and closing out with that song, I have recently decided to move back home to New York.
Oh, yes.
So, you know, I really felt like Dorothy sitting there for a minute, like, shit. You know, and there are no coincidences. So being here tonight was just affirmation of having made the right choice, and sitting there listening to him and thinking about how much, you know, as a black child, you love The Wiz. As a grown person, you still watch that motherfucker. You know? And just looking at my life from 10 years old, leaving the Bronx, moving to Los Angeles, being in television, being in the music industry all these years. And now it's just like I'm coming home.
Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home.
I feel I've been at church tonight because I'm telling you, I cried. I've been laughing. André, you gave the benediction, the sermon, everything. Everything to me, my soul has really been spoken to. And I really think that's what Unscripted is about. We want to create a space for intimate, authentic, genuine sharing. It's a space where we see each other in our humanity. It's not about the celebrity. It's not about the glitz or the glam. It's about, let's come to a place so we can hear these gems, hear these words, hear this wisdom, walk away with our spirits filled, ourselves inspired and motivated to be better as we go. So thank you for being here tonight.
If you believe within your heart, you know that no one can change the path that you must go. Believe what you feel and know you're right, because the time will come around when you say it's yours. Believe there's a reason to be. Believe you can make time stand still. And know from the moment you try, if you believe, I know you will. Believe in yourself right from the start. Believe in the magic inside your heart. Believe all these things, not because I told you to, but believe in yourself. You must believe in yourself. Please believe in yourself as I believe. Valerie Simpson.
Valerie Simpson. André the Shields.